That grinding sound when you stand up. That morning stiffness that glues your fingers together. That deep, burning ache in your knees or hips that tells you a storm is coming. Doctors tell us it's just arthritis. They say it's just a normal part of getting old. They hand you a prescription for painkillers and tell you to take it easy. But what if they're wrong? What if the crippling joint pain you feel isn't just wear and tear? What if it's being actively fueled, day after day, by the food you're eating? What if the very meats you've been told are healthy or lean are, in fact, pouring gasoline on the fire of inflammation, accelerating the destruction of your cartilage? It's a shocking thought, but recent clinical studies have uncovered an alarming link between specific types of meat and the severity of arthritis. One type of fish, often recommended by health gurus, was found to have an inflammatory profile worse than bacon. Another popular lean meat, when cooked a certain way, creates toxic compounds that directly attack your joint cartilage, making it brittle and weak. The truth is, your dinner plate could be your biggest enemy, or your most powerful medicine. In this video, we are going to expose the 4 worst meats that are scientifically shown to worsen arthritis and destroy your joints. And, more importantly, we will reveal the 4 best meats that are proven to fight inflammation, protect your cartilage, and even provide the raw building blocks your body needs to rebuild what's been lost. This isn't about miracle cures. This is about science. This is about making simple swaps that can give you back your mobility and your life. But first, I want to hear from you. Which meat do you eat most often? And how do your joints feel the next day? Share your story in the comments below. We are reading every single response, and your experience could help someone else. Now, let's get started. Let's expose the hidden villains hiding in your refrigerator, starting with the one many people believe is a staple of a healthy diet. Worst meat number 4, conventionally raised red meat. This includes most of the beef, pork, and lamb you find in typical grocery store coolers. We're talking about grain-fed, factory-farmed animals. For decades, we've been told to limit red meat because of saturated fat and cholesterol. But for seniors with arthritis, the real problem is something far more sinister: its pro-inflammatory omega-6 profile. Here's why. Animals, just like humans, are what they eat. A cow is designed to eat grass. A pig is designed to forage. But to fatten them up quickly, the industrial food system feeds them an unnatural diet of corn, soy, and other cheap grains. This unnatural diet does something terrible to their meat. It dramatically increases the levels of omega-6 fatty acids, specifically arachidonic acid, or AA. Now, you need some omega-6 seconds, but our bodies require a delicate balance. Ideally, a 1-to-1, or at most a 4-to-1 ratio of omega-6 seconds to anti-inflammatory omega-3 seconds. Grain-fed beef, it can have a ratio as high as 2:1. When you eat this meat, that flood of arachidonic acid hits your system and your body uses it to create inflammatory compounds called eicosanoids. Think of these as tiny biological fire starters. They travel directly to your joints and trigger the very inflammation, swelling, and pain you're trying to get rid of. If your joints already ache, eating grain-fed red meat is like trying to put out a fire by spraying it with lighter fluid. Let me tell you about David. David is a 8-year-old retired contractor from Texas. He loved his steak and potatoes. He ate red meat at least 4 times a week. But he was also crippled by osteoarthritis in his hips, so severe he could barely walk to his mailbox. His blood work told the story. His C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker for inflammation, was dangerously high. We didn't even take him off red meat entirely. We simply made one swap, which I'll reveal in part 2. The change was stunning. In 6 weeks, his CRP levels dropped by 40%, and he was able to walk his dog around the block for the first time in a year. The takeaway? If you love red meat, don't despair, but the kind you eat matters more than anything. The standard supermarket steak is a direct enemy of your joints. Worst meat, number 3. Processed meats. This is a big category. We're talking about hot dogs, sausages, bacon, deli meats, smoked turkey slices, salami, and canned meats like Spam. These foods are not just meat. They are, as one cardiologist called them, inflammatory bombs assembled in a factory. The primary villains are nitrates, and advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. Nitrates and nitrites are preservatives used to give these meats their long shelf life and fresh pink color. When they enter your body, they can trigger oxidative stress, which is a direct precursor to inflammation. Your immune system sees these compounds as foreign invaders and mounts an inflammatory attack, and your joints often end up in the crossfire. But the bigger problem for seniors is the sky-high sodium. A few slices of deli turkey, which sounds so healthy, can pack over 800 milligrams of sodium. When you're over 60, your kidneys are not as efficient at filtering excess salt. This causes your body to retain water. Now, think about what that does to a joint that is already swollen. That extra fluid increases the pressure inside the joint capsule, leading to more stiffness, more pain, and reduced mobility. Take Sarah's story. Sarah is a 72-year-old retired librarian. She was meticulous about her health. She started every day with yogurt and had a healthy smoked turkey sandwich on whole wheat for lunch. Yet, every morning, her fingers were so swollen and stiff she couldn't make a fist. She blamed her bad arthritis. But the real culprit was the daily load of nitrites and sodium from her healthy lunch meat. We switched her from processed turkey to whole, home-cooked, shredded chicken. Within 2 weeks, her morning hand swelling was gone, completely. If a food comes in a vacuum-sealed plastic pouch or from a deli counter, you must assume it is working against your joints, not for them. Worst meat number 2, farmed tilapia and farmed shrimp. This one shocks people. For years, doctors have been saying, eat less red meat, eat more fish. And for cash-strapped seniors, cheap, white, boneless tilapia seems like the perfect answer. Here is the horrifying truth. Farmed tilapia, the kind that makes up 95% of what's sold in the US, is more inflammatory than bacon. Let that sink in. A study from Wake Forest University, researchers analyzed the fatty acid content of various fish. They found that farmed tilapia, much like grain-fed cattle, is fed a cheap diet of corn and soy. As a result, it has virtually zero of the beneficial omega-3 seconds you think you're getting from fish. Instead, it is loaded with inflammatory omega-6 seconds. Its profile of arachidonic acid, that fire starter we talked about, is one of the highest in the entire food supply. So, you have millions of seniors thinking they are making the heart-healthy, joint-friendly choice, who are actually eating a fish that promotes inflammation. Robert, a 65-year-old from Florida, is a perfect example. He was pre-diabetic, and his doctor told him to eat fish 3 times a week. He chose affordable, easy-to-cook tilapia. As his fish consumption went up, so did his knee pain. He was confused and frustrated. He was eating healthy, but his body felt worse. The problem wasn't the fish, it was the wrong fish. He was eating an inflammatory bombshell. This also applies to most farmed shrimp, which are often raised in similar conditions and fed the same inflammatory grains. If you are eating tilapia to help your joints, you must stop. You are doing the exact opposite of what you intend. Worst meat number 1, grilled or fried chicken. Especially with skin. Here it is, the number 1 healthy meat that is secretly destroying your joints. You're probably thinking, what? Chicken? It's the ultimate lean protein. The problem isn't the chicken itself. The problem is how we cook it. The culprit is a class of toxic compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. AGEs are formed when proteins and fats are exposed to high, dry heat. Think grilling, frying, broiling, roasting, or searing. That beautiful brown, crispy skin on a roasted chicken. That char on a grilled chicken breast. That's a chemical crust of pure AGEs. Here's what they do. When you eat them, AGEs are absorbed into your bloodstream. They are rogue molecules that rampage through your body, seeking out proteins to bind to and destroy. And their favorite target? The proteins in your joint cartilage, specifically collagen. Collagen is the flexible, cushiony scaffolding that keeps your joints smooth and pain-free. AGEs attack this collagen, cross-linking with it and making it stiff, brittle, and weak. This isn't a theory. A study from the Mount Sinai School of Medicine found that when AGEs accumulate in the joints, the body's immune system launches an inflammatory assault to clear them out, leading to a vicious cycle of cartilage destruction and chronic inflammation. Mary, a 70-year-old avid walker, is a case in point. She ate a grilled chicken salad every single day for lunch, thinking it was the peak of healthy eating. But her arthritis was progressing at an alarming rate. X-rays showed her cartilage was thinning rapidly. Her healthy grilled chicken, cooked at high heat, was creating a daily flood of cartilage-destroying agents, accelerating her joint decline. So, to summarize, grain-fed red meat is fueling inflammation. Processed meats are adding salt and chemicals. Farm tilapia is a secret omega-6 bomb. And high-heat cooked chicken is creating toxins that make your cartilage brittle. It's a terrifying picture. You might be thinking, what on earth am I supposed to eat? This is the most important part of the video. This is the pivot from fear to hope. Because for every meat that destroys, there is a meat that rebuilds. Instead of just avoiding the bad, you can actively add the good. You can eat foods that lubricate your joints, calm inflammation, and provide the literal building blocks to repair the damage. So, let's flip the script. Here are the 4 best meats you should be eating every week to fight arthritis and rebuild your joints. Best meat number 4. Grass-fed beef and bison. Remember David, the steak lover with the bad hips? This is the swap we made. We didn't take away his red meat. We replaced his grain-fed steak with grass-fed steak. When a cow eats its natural diet of grass, the meat is chemically transformed. The inflammatory omega-6 seconds plummet. The anti-inflammatory omega-3 seconds skyrocket. The ratio flips from a disastrous 2:1 to a beautiful, healthy 2:1 or even 1:1. But that's not all. Grass-fed beef is one of the richest sources of a special nutrient called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. Study after study has shown that CLA is a powerfully anti-inflammatory compound. It actively works to turn off the inflammatory pathways that omega-6 seconds turn on. Furthermore, grass-fed beef and bison, which is almost always grass-fed, are packed with K vitamins and zinc, minerals that are essential for bone health and tissue repair. So yes, you can eat red meat, but it must be 100% grass-fed. It's a completely different food. It is anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense, and provides the high-quality protein your muscles and tissues need to support your joints. It's more expensive, yes. But as David said, what's the price of walking without pain? Best meat number 3. Pasture-raised chicken. Cooked, LOW and slow. Remember Mary and her grilled chicken salad? The problem wasn't the chicken, it was the high-heat cooking. Here is the solution: pasture-raised chicken or turkey, cooked with moist, low, slow heat. Think stewing, braising, poaching, or making a chicken soup. First, pasture-raised means the chicken was raised outdoors, eating bugs and greens. Like grass-fed beef, this gives it a much healthier, anti-inflammatory fat profile. But the cooking method is the true secret. When you cook chicken low and slow, in a liquid like a soup or stew, you virtually eliminate the creation of those toxic, cartilage-destroying agents. And you get a second, massive benefit. This slow, moist cooking process gently breaks down the chicken's skin, bones, and connective tissues. And what does that release into the broth? Collagen and gelatin. You are literally dissolving the building blocks of cartilage out of the chicken and into the soup you're about to eat. You are creating a joint-healing meal from scratch. Mary, the grilled chicken salad lover, switched her lunch. She started making a big batch of pasture-raised chicken and vegetable soup on Sundays and would eat that for lunch. The transformation was incredible. Her morning stiffness, which she had battled for a decade, vanished in 3 weeks. She wasn't just avoiding the agents that hurt her, she was now consuming the collagen that helped her. Best meat number 2. Bone broth from quality bones. This isn't technically meat, but it is derived from it, and it is arguably the most powerful food on this entire list for rebuilding joints. If you have arthritis, you've heard of the supplements glucosamine and chondroitin. People spend hundreds of dollars a year on these pills, which are often poorly absorbed by the body. Well, guess what? Real, slow-simmered bone broth is the single richest, most bioavailable food source of glucosamine, chondroitin, and collagen on the planet. It's not a supplement, it's food. When you simmer high-quality bones from grass-fed beef or pasture-raised chicken for 12 to 24 hours, You are literally pulling all the good stuff out of the bones and connective tissue and suspending it in a warm, nourishing, easy-to-digest liquid. Collagen provides the protein scaffolding to repair cartilage. Glucosamine and chondroitin help form new cartilage and lubricate the joint. Hyaluronic acid helps cushion and hydrate the joint space. Glycine, a powerful amino acid that fights systemic inflammation. Drinking a daily cup of real bone broth is like sending a liquid gold construction crew directly to your aching joints. I'll never forget Helen. Helen is a 75-year-old retired nurse. She came to me on 2 canes with x-rays showing bone on bone in her right knee. She was in constant, debilitating pain. She started a simple protocol, 1 cup of real bone broth every single morning. She saw me 6 months later. She walked in with 1 cane. The pain, she said, was 80% better. It wasn't a miracle. She simply gave her body the exact raw materials it had been screaming for. You can make it yourself or buy high-quality brands from the store. Just make sure the label says grass-fed or pasture-raised and has no added salt or preservatives. And the number 1 best meat for arthritis. Best meat number 1. Smash fish. We know that farm tilapia is an inflammatory disaster. So, what is the right fish? The answer is simple. You need cold water, fatty fish, which are packed with the ultimate anti-inflammatory nutrient, omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. The easiest way to remember them is with the acronym SMASH. Salmon, wild-caught, not farmed. Mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring. While grass-fed beef fights inflammation with CLA, and bone broth rebuilds with collagen, smash fish put out the fire. The EPA and DHA in these fish are the most powerful natural inflammation fighters known to science. They directly block the same inflammatory pathways that drugs like ibuprofen do. They tell your body to stop producing the eicosanoids that cause pain and swelling. They also lubricate the joints from the inside out and protect your existing cartilage from being broken down by destructive enzymes. Remember, Robert, the man eating inflammatory tilapia. We swapped his 3 weekly servings of tilapia for 2 servings of wild-caught salmon and 2 cans of sardines packed in olive oil. He called me 6 weeks later and said, "It's like someone greased my knees." His pain was gone. By simply swapping his fish, he went from fueling the fire to putting it out. The science is undeniable. Dozens of studies, including a major review from the Annals of Rheumatic Diseases, have confirmed that high intake of these omega-3 seconds leads to a significant reduction in joint pain, morning stiffness, and the number of tender joints. For seniors, wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel are not just health food, they are medicine. Conclusion. So, here's the truth. The choice is yours. Every day, your plate can be your poison, or it can be your power. You can continue eating the grain-fed meats, the processed deli slices, the farmed tilapia, and the high-heat grilled chicken that are actively fueling inflammation and breaking down your joints. Or, you can make the swap. You can choose the grass-fed beef that fights inflammation. You can choose the slow-cooked chicken that delivers healing collagen. You can add the daily bone broth that literally provides the building blocks for new cartilage, and you can eat the smash fish that put out the fire of pain for good. You do not have to accept joint pain as a life sentence. You are not just getting old. You have the power to stop the damage and start the repair, and it begins with your very next meal. Thank you for watching. If this video was helpful and gave you hope, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more science-backed guides to help you thrive after 60. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Remember, your body has an amazing ability to heal. You just have to give it the right tools. Stay strong, stay mobile, and I'll see you in the next video.